172, Justice for Tyrone West, and Justice for all victims of police brutality. Tawanda, it's all you.
Thank you so much, Mother. So, we don't have any special guests. Literally furious at what's going on in America right. So, with that being said, play this off. Play every time we're online. We're gonna play that, and then we're gonna come back for table talk. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Can't stop, won't stop, till killer cops are in cell blocks. Can't stop.
The following video portrays an incident of assault and violence at the hands of police. Viewer discretion is advised.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No,
why would you say that? Why would you say that?
This is Baltimore City Police Officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz. In a video shot in 2016, Ruiz is seen with his knee on the back of an unknown man with a gun pointed at the man's head. His message was a clear one. Concerned onlookers, adhere to my dictates or else. Here, we can hear Ruiz saying to Baltimore residents,
I suggest you back the fuck up. No.
It is documented that Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender, even without access to all complaints against Ruiz, undisclosed by BPD Internal Affairs records. 6 cases involving Ruiz are known. This video will briefly highlight 6 total cases beginning in July of 2013. Case 1, Abdul Salam, July 1st, 2013. Here Salam is seen victoriously smiling in celebration after the jury found Ruiz and 2 other cops liable for brutality against him. However, because the trial was civil, not criminal, Ruiz was not fired and he did not go to jail.
Police profiled me. They followed me in the back of my house, harassing me. Police proceeded to violently and hostilely approach my van with me and my son in it. As I announced, this was my home, guns drawn. Once they reached my vehicle, they violently pulled me out, ramshacked my vehicle with my 3-year-old son strapped in his car seat, threw me against the gate, slammed me repeatedly. Picked me up by my feet, and while I'm upside down, they proceeded to drop me on my head, hog-tie me, and immediately when I fell on my head, Ruiz, in a wrestling type of action, and kind of hit his knee against my neck. I was arrested. I had no idea what I was being arrested for. My son is scarred to this day. He remembers the incident as it happened yesterday. When he talks about it, he always refers to Daddy being on the floor with police yesterday.
Case 2, Darrell Harris, profiled, as seen in this video, July 17th, 2013.
Yeah, I said, what's wrong with it? Improper way with it. There's no such thing as an improper way.
You gonna tell me my job, bro?
I know the law.
Are you gonna tell me the law?
I know the law.
You gonna tell me the law?
I know the law. What's the problem? You giving me a ticket? You need my license registration? To profile, y'all use the seatbelt as a reason. Profile.
Sir, do me a favor, take out your keys.
Yeah, you can record. For what? Nah. I don't feel safe right now. Do you want me to step out the car? Do you want me to step out the car? I'll step out the car. Call the police, man. What do you call a supervisor? I brought the new shit. This is getting uploaded to the internet right now. Yeah?
And we are 2 law-abiding citizens that we're getting targeted, and I don't know why.
Just 24 hours later, Bernardez Ruiz played a leading role in the police killing of unarmed Tyrone West. Case number 3, the murder of Tyrone West, July 18th, 2013.
My brother Tyrone West was brutally murdered
on July the 18th, 2013.
In both of these cases, when you look at the pleadings and the harsh language of these officers that have been quoted to me by reliable witnesses, the N-word.
And Killer Ruiz and Killer Chapman and the rest of those 11 and 15 killers, including David Lewis, took something from my family that they can never give us again. And that was my brother Tyrone West, one unarmed man who was brutally murdered, beat to death in broad daylight.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Awesome, guys. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
They said
Okay.
yes.
Okay, awesome. No, so welcome to West Wednesday, guys. First of all, I apologize for not being on time as we would start at 7. I apologize because I was having technical difficulties on trying to get on. So I'm hoping that I'm not breaking up. But nevertheless, last week when I came on, I was very upset about the young man last week, and when they found the jurors found the killer of I'm sorry, because I want to make sure I get this right. So last week that I was very upset about the young 14-year-old boy, Cyrus Carmack Belton, who literally was literally executed, and going into an Asian gas station. And this happened a few years ago, but the trial went on last week. And long story short, Killer Rick got found not guilty. He literally chased this teenager over 2 football fields, literally him and his son, and literally shot this young man in the back. And it is disgusting. And for 4 bottles of water that he didn't even take. And my thing is, even if he took that, he did not deserve to be executed. And he got off on self-defense when he's the one foot chase. And the fact that Rick Chow pretty much had a history of being a repeat violent offender, that anybody that came into his gas station, he would literally, if he, first of all, let's be clear, the young man was stereotyped from the time he walked in to the gas station because they made him leave his book bag. They made this baby leave his book bag in the front of the store. So he goes in there, and I guess he's feeling all type of, emotions and things like that are being watched. And the wife gets from behind the counter, stands and watches him. He takes 4 water bottles, and you see on the video footage that he puts the water bottles back and whatnot. But nevertheless, he was, and then he even lift up his hoodie to show when he got his book bag. It's like, "What, you got some water?" He's like, "I put it back. I don't got no waters." He lifted his shirt up and he left, and literally they chased him. He ran out of his shoe and everything. But he was executed in cold blood, right? And the defense was, self-defense. Like what? He's running away. He never pulled his weapon because he allegedly had a gun on him and whatnot. But now time did he go in that gas station with the intentions of, hey, I'm going to hold these guys up by gunpoint. He didn't, even when they were chasing him, he never pulled his weapon out. And literally when he stumbled and tripped, it fell. And what did Mr. Child do? He picked it up and he executed this poor baby in cold blood. And the jurors found him completely not guilty. And then to find out, literally, it was a woman that went in the store like maybe 2 years before this or whatever the case may be. And he shot at her 6 times for stealing something out of his store. I think it was some peanuts and a beer. And then before that, he accused this one guy that he actually shot for stealing I think it was some oven cleaner or whatever the case may be, material items. But literally in each case, he got off with self-defense. But literally what took me over the edge, because I was going to have a guest on, I wasn't going to talk about nothing, even though I still was feeling, in my spirit, I was feeling last week, disgusted and feeling unsafe in America. but literally watching, or not even watching, because I try not to like engage in social media and the news and the television, but everybody saw last night, literally everybody saw the verdict come in for Carmelo Anthony, and for him to have an all-white jury. Literally, they dismissed the only black person I heard, and I wasn't keeping up good. And I'm sorry if I got things wrong or whatever the case may be. But from what I gathered, was the only one black person that was on the jury. They dismissed him, and he had an all-white jury. But literally, this young man who really was defending himself during a track meet, I heard from my understanding he went inside of tents because it was raining, because I guess they have the tents there for the track people, whatever, however it is. But he went up under a tent, and literally 4 people tried to attack him. And literally, and my heart goes out for any victim, like, brother, nobody deserves to die, none of that. So again, my heart goes out to the family of the young man that passed away and whatnot. But the fact that in self-defense, literally, you're the size, the weight, and all that, but for them to literally find him guilty of murder, and I never in all my whole entire life seen, right? See, not only did the all-white jurors find him guilty, they was like, hold up, that literally by the end of the day, not only after they went into jury trial for like the deliberate for like 2.5 plus hours, like I think it was 2 hours, 30 minutes top, came back with their guilty, but literally for them to be able to, and everybody was like waiting on the end of their seats, and they were saying that these jurors was going to actually have to be the one to sentence him, to play a big role in him getting sentenced. And literally, he had the trial, got found guilty, literally, and the same day, yesterday, they literally gave him 35 years. I'm like, I know you lying. I'm like, I know you're lying. But a simple fact, and this is what's disturbing to me, and I want to talk about my personal space, personal life, and why I don't feel safe in America. First of all, I never saw quick, swift, whatever you want to call it, so-called accountability. There's no, and I'll say it, there's no place in America, in a courtroom for a black or brown person. I'm just sorry. It's like, if you stand there, you die. If you comply, you die. It does not matter. And any race can just literally get away with taking us out and nothing's done. And everybody's laughing, making jokes. But meanwhile, this is somebody's son, too. And then for his mother to go and beg and plead and talk to this white jury and beg for her son's freaking life, and they still do no manslaughter, no whatever. And then I looked up and compared other cases where they had white boys that did worse stuff than that, literally get like 10 years, manslaughter, this and that. One young man that stabbed somebody and killed, I'm talking about stabbed them up, went on the run, all that. Literally got like, I want to say a 5-year sentence, all suspended, but a year on the box. But yet you give this black young man, like, freaking pretty much taking away this young man's life. That is so disgusting. So I'm just like, where are we safe? But meanwhile, back in my personal space, my family had to, when my cousin Tavon Anderson was executed by a white serial killer, literally, that went on a killing spree right here in Baltimore. Literally, they hit this man and they would not extradite him back. He was in Virginia. Right? He was in Virginia, and they hit him, and they kept him there for 5 years. They let all this time get by, and they just brought him back to the city this year. They just brought him back this year, or whatever, to stand trial. And literally, the way they downplay, and they did nothing like that. And for me, literally, to see what happens and the way they treat our people is disgusting. I was there too, also, and literally, and we're still waiting for him to get sentenced. Like, he go back for sentencing sometime in freaking September. and this for killing like another person that he killed. Wasn't even for my cousin. Like he got found guilty because of the gun and all this stuff. And I think he got like 32 years for that, but they didn't find him guilty for literally executing my cousin. Like, I'm over this dirty system. So it ain't broke. It's working the way it's working. And that's to wipe us out and to silence us. So my thing is, why in the world we cannot get accountability from nobody? Like, we darn if we do and we darn if we don't. Like, they mental health crisis. And I think about poor Dante Milton that literally had an pretty much, medical emergency. Like, he called 911 for help to get taken to the hospital. And what did they do? They took Dante Milton's life. And what happens? Anthony Brown and them officers come back. Oh, it's justified. It's justified. Fine. Sad day for you. Disgusting. Yep. With the case of Abdul Bilal, literally gunned down. Like, this man was shot over 30-something times, y'all. 30-something times for having a weapon. 30-something times for having a freaking weapon. And what did they come back from? Oh, sad day for you. It was justified. How are you justifying the brutal, bloody murders of my people, but yet when these white people, anybody else, white, Asian, they can kill us and they walk away. They walk away. I'm sick and tired of this dirty system. It's a capitalist system that does not care about nothing. All we are is property. They don't care about us. They don't even look at us as humans. They look at us as 3/5 of a human being. And that is so disgusting to me. And you see it play out. And then they get mad when they say, oh, they pulling the race card. You're damn right. Because race plays a factor in everything. And meanwhile, all these organizations, and I give people shout outs for, oh yeah, all the community violence stuff is down. But when I was talking to my sister Hillary the other day, she made a great, excellent point. Yeah, you got people. I'm sorry, y'all can't hear me.
On floor, somebody made a poopy on the floor.
Oh, do y'all hear that noise, or was that me?
No, it's coming from somebody's mic. If we could turn off the mic, that'd be great. Or it was interference. I don't know.
Yeah, interference from the pigs.
Could be.
Interfering from the pigs. I said what I said, and I meant it, and I'll say it again. So they can sing low or whatever the case may be on that note. It's disgusting, y'all. Like, so my whole point of what I'm trying to say, because that just blew me, like that sound that just came in, like really blew me, made me lose my, but so the point that I was trying to say was, a point that my sister Hillary made was, everybody's like praising and saluting that, yeah, the crime rate is down, but nobody wants to talk about these outrageous, egregious cases of police misconduct, police brutality. No one is talking about that. And there's studies sweeping it under the rug. Literally, and like I said, and I'll bring that point back up, literally, it has marked a whole year since a team, shout out to the team of doctors, pathologists, over 400 plus pathologists got together when they saw David Fowler, which is another thing that I was disgusted about. We had the Republicans standing up, taking a moment of silence for a killer that literally took the life of George Floyd, literally took his soul out of his body. And they're going to take a moment of silence for Derek Chauvin? Like, are you, like, what? Like, we are so, like, if we don't, this is my point. We need to wake up, y'all. Instead of us hating each other, when we're the most hated race ever, we busy worrying about the dumb stuff. We need to get with the program because they don't care about us. They are wiping us out. Our life has no value. My cat life means more than my life. Like, God forbid something happened to me. Oh, sad day for you. But God forbid something happened to my cat. That, the poor little, so disgusting. I'm so sick of this dirty, racist system. It's a dirty, racist, capitalist system.
Sure
And
is.
this is not the West Coalition. This is Tawanda talking from my heart, my space. And I'm tired of these people playing in my face. Nobody wants to address the sick, violent police brutality. They keep sweeping it under the rug, but meanwhile, all the numbers are rising. It's rising in Baltimore, D.C., Philly, all over the map. And nobody wants to talk about that. Literally, we're talking about 3+ bodies a day that we know about. And let's keep in mind, when I met a good writer that talked about forensic sciences, he had a book, The Blue Wall. It was everything is the blue wall. They want to hide stuff. But he was talking about the forensic doctors and how, like in most of the cases, that they're getting the statistic number wrong, because I didn't know that if a killer cop rolls up, at a scene and the person, race is not identified, they can say whatever race they deem, and half the time they're going to make it seem like it's another race when it's us. Like they can say, oh, you know what, that person was Caucasian, and the whole time it was a black person. Because anybody know if you got a drop of blood, black blood, and you're black. I'm sorry, you're black. You're black. You're African American. Ma'am, madam, sir, you're black. That's how much our blood dominates. But my whole point, I ain't trying to give y'all no whole DNA, talk or speech or anything. But my point is, I'm sick and tired of this dirty system. And right now we are at war. And what they're doing now with the television, they're trying to excite foolishness. And right now we don't have nobody to actually make sure that we are safe. Like they don't care about, they hate our babies. They hate us with a passion. For you to literally find a young man guilty, throw him away for the rest of his life. Y'all don't give a damn about us. But when a white boy or a white girl does something, it is justifiable. They want to have the conversation about mental health. They want to talk about this. They want to talk about that. But when it's our children, when it's us, they don't give a damn. And that is so disgusting to me.
There you go.
That is so disgusting to me. And for this to go on, like I was saying, it was a year since 400+ pathologists got together when they saw David Fowler up there on the stand blaming everything in George Floyd case. Oh, he must have suffered. He must have died from smelling the fumes because his body was right there by the car and it was carbon monoxide poison that he might have suffered. And the whole time he's blaming everything but Derek Chauvin's kneecap. He's blaming everything. And so when he did that and threw himself under the bus, now everybody wants to talk about the medical examiner's office. That's how West Wednesday was birthed. That's why we've been out here 672 weeks with this corrupt foolishness that's happening in Baltimore and everywhere, but mainly Baltimore, in particular Baltimore. Because the medical examiner's office is so corrupt, but the fact that 400+ doctors, right, got up and the thing is, when you speak up, baby, that's when the retaliation comes. So they put everything up and said, you know what? I'm going to speak out. We don't care who get mad. Sad day for you. We don't care. We're going to stick by what's right. What's right is going, lead to something thorough, because those victims did not deserve to be lied upon. Like, your final examination is your autopsy report, guys. That, like, you can't talk, but your body, the forensic leads to what happened, tells you if, you had self-inflicted stuff to happen, or if you had things where you protecting yourself, like you had your hand up, and so you want to lie when it comes to us because you're biased and you're racist. First of all, David Fowler should be underneath of the jail. Forget this, okay, we're going to do an investigation. They should have arrested this loser, prejudiced person a long time ago,
right,
along with Bruce Goldfarb, his mouthpiece. And he probably online watching me. Retract this, Bruce Goldfarb. I ain't retracting nothing. Y'all dirty. All y'all need to be in jail. Because if we was doing the foolishness that y'all was doing, we'd be underneath of the jail. So why is it that? But the fact that it's been a year and everybody's waiting, y'all promised 150 families. even though you should have did something for all those cases, all those bodies under his tenure. Under his tenure, everything should have been pulled up. But the fact, okay, you only pulled up a small, not even a small proportion, not even 1% of all them bodies that he lied over top of. But the fact that you promised 150 something families that you was going to have things investigated and we was going to see where it go at. Why didn't you get no phone call yet? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Nothing. And when a reporter from the Banner tried to reach out to Anthony Brown's office, they declined to talk to him. What kind of foolishness is that? My thing is this: either you're gonna do something or you're not. But the thing is justice delayed is justice denied. And I'll say it again: justice delayed is justice denied. First of all, we done been out here way too long. My story, but the truth, not my truth, the truth, has never changed in 672 weeks. Even with unsure names, unsure numbers, right? When they were hiding the killers that murdered my brother, like, we still knew that 10 or more cops took out one unarmed man, right? We knew that. We knew that. Witnesses told us all of that. And nobody is in a cell block. And yeah, we get little victories here and there, but the one I'm looking for, the one that's going to hit home for me, is a killer cop in a cell block. I ain't taking nothing short unless I ain't meeting you in the middle. I'm not doing none of that. It is sad and disgusting that y'all will place targets on these family backs, including myself, and then leave us out here just open. Sad day for y'all. We're going to leave y'all open. We ain't even going to tell y'all what's going to happen, what's not. Like, y'all, like, it's so sad and disgusting. Again, I keep telling y'all the Dorothy experience, and the reason why I've been feeling like Dorothy since my brother had got murdered. Like, I'm going down a goddamn yellow brick road. I'm looking for everything. I'm like, oh my goodness, with my red pearly shoes on, with my red pumps, walking down the yellow brick road, trying to find accountability, trying to find this and that. But the whole time, the power is within me. Y'all ain't doing enough for me. I should not have had to play investigator, finding out this, going through that. I should not have had to go in my pocketbook, dig out 50 grand plus to have my brother's body dug up and exhumed for y'all to find, for us to find the truth. Well, we knew the truth. But the fact nobody's being held accountable, and the fact that 150 something families are sitting by waiting for a conversation, y'all. It's the same stuff that I dealt with. Tenure after tenure, meaning different mayors that done sat down with my family, from Stephanie Rollins fake to all of them. Like, I done sat down with Captain P. I done sat down with everybody, bro. I'm tired of the foolishness. You sat down, everything sounds so good, and then it stops, and then it gets quiet as crickets. You hear nothing. And I'm still sitting here waiting for accountability, and I'm not going nowhere. And it irks my soul. It irks my soul to even, and I'm happy, don't get me wrong, I'm happy when I see other families get stuff, but it is so sad that even before Freddie Gray family, had y'all would have taken accountability in Baltimore City, I believe that Freddie Gray would have been able to walk past those killer cops, could have made eye contact and not been, not been executed, not been, and literally murdered. And then first thing you do, you don't blame the cops, you blame the van. Oh, he wasn't buckled in. Like, get out of here with this foolishness. You rather blame a van than humans. Like, all the foolishness. That prosecutors know how to prosecute every damn other case, but as soon as it's time to prosecute the right case, then you don't know how to prosecute. Then you don't know how to prosecute. You want to talk about what somebody wearing as if we talking about a clown show instead of what the cops did to murder Freddie Gray. Like, foolishness. Like, I'm so sick and tired of the Doug and Pony show, but I promise you this, 10 toes down for life. That's forever. I'm not going nowhere. But it's sad. I don't. And I always saying I got respect and love for Miss Dorothy Elliott, Miss Dot, Archie Elliott's mom, who'd have been in this fight for 30 plus years. I don't want to be in this fight for 30 plus years. I want to keep fighting for my people. That'd be a life thing. But I don't want to keep coming up year after year, watching myself age, watching myself, and nothing happens. I don't. Like, stop needing. Like, stop playing with us. Our lives matter. It may not matter to y'all, but it matters to the families that you leave by with all this pain. And the night, like last week, we read y'all's 20-something plus name. Tonight, we got another 20. Like, when is it going to stop, y'all? It's not. We are asking, and I thought about this. Like, I laid there, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have some good table talk with them. People might don't like what I say, but I quite frankly don't care. Sorry, but not. I don't care. You don't like to turn the podcast off, go about your business. I don't care. I'm going to speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But the fact that the stuff that y'all do, it is wild to me. Like, it is wild. Y'all leave people hanging. Nobody's safe. You put targets out on people, and you just leave us out here. Because every time we speak up, that means we got more. The hate list grows. The top of the list we go to these people that got power and money that can literally have you smashed and trashed in 2 seconds. And I believe what's keeping me, I keep putting y'all on point. I keep putting y'all out here. Like, I'm going to keep telling everything that they do. Everything. And the fact that nobody gets held accountable, the fact that my last vehicle was targeted by the police, I'm thinking I pulled up in the wrong spot, but no. I get to the pound shop, they like, no, your car, why the police wanted your car towed? And the fact that they totaled my car from just towing it, like, come on, man, when is enough going to be enough? How much of damage do they got to do before y'all believe it's real? And this is Tawanda Jones talking. I don't use drugs. I don't get high. None of that. This is me talking from a clear, conscious mind. How many more people, y'all? How many more Tyrone West? How many more Archie Elliott's? The list goes on. How many more Timothy Flemings, I'm sorry. The list goes on. Corinne Gaines. The list goes on. How many more? I'm sick and tired, y'all. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be 10 years down. I'm in this for life. And if I could come back after this life and haunt the hell out y'all, call me Casper the unfriendly ghost, because I'm going to haunt the hell out of y'all. Like, enough is enough. Like, it's way too much of foolishness, and ain't nobody keeping us safe. They ain't keeping our babies safe. The rumors, the comments are getting, like, the comments online are, like, outrageous. Like, outrageous. Like, for that 14-year-old mom that actually go through people sending her hate mail and stuff like that and saying her son deserved what he got, laughing, it brought, when I say, oh my gosh, it brought back so many painful memories. It's always the same game, a different victim's name. They victim blame the person when you're in a black and brown body for your own demise. And then if you try to speak up and talk about it, they laugh in your face. They send you death threats. They do things to you. It is disgusting, and it needs to stop. But it ain't going to stop, because guess what, y'all? Like, when I was laying in for the table talk, nobody's coming to save us. No one's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. I'm going to say it again. No one is coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. Period. That, I don't know what that looked like, but I know we have to do it. All they're going to do is play games, play in our face, and try to water us down. And when they see you get powerful, yeah, what they do, they put gag orders on powerful people. They try to shut you up, to silence you, promise you stuff. And all they're doing is taking away your power, Because your powers, they may have the weapons, but we have the voices. And there's nothing stronger than being that voice, putting it out there, telling the truth. There's nothing. My mother always told me, tell the truth, shame the devil. And just like I say, the higher the level, the bigger the devil. Keep calling these jokers out, man. They ain't gonna do their job. Call them out. Call them out. Like, what are they doing? Like, what are they doing? Like, how long are we gonna have to wait? Another, 672 weeks? Like, what? Really? Like, I'm tired of waiting, y'all. But I'm never going to be exhausted to the point that I walk away and put my sign down. And I promise you, God forbid if that day come, please come look for me. When I drop my sign, my protest sign, and you don't hear from me, I'm urging you, please come look for me. Because something's not right. And I always say, live to love to live, because I do love us all. And I don't wish what America is doing to my people right now, I don't wish that on my worst enemy. It's like I believe, and this is me again, little old me, I believe nobody deserves to be brutally murdered, executed. Nobody deserves that. And I think about, and I'm gonna end, and I'm gonna go to the questions, comments. I'm gonna see if Uncle Bill want to say something, or whoever else, and then we can just start into our said list. But the thing that struck my nerve was the poor little baby, and I cannot remember his name. And it's an old case, but he got accused of a crime that he did not do when they had the electric chair out. They couldn't eat. This little baby body was so small, he couldn't even fit into the chair, a baby. And what did these racist devils do? They put stuff, books, let them set on books to make it be the right amount height so that they could fry this baby. Fry him, torture him for a crime he didn't do. And they snatching our babies away, putting them in this dirty, rotten prison system. And just leaving us to be gone. And I will never forget about the other baby that literally, I forgot his name, but literally he ran over a police officer and he wasn't even trying to kill. He was like, he shot at his head. He hit the gas, finally not to drive, accidentally rolled her over. He got life. He got life. And nobody talks about this stuff. And when we let it go away, I'm not letting it go away. And I'm going to say it again. I'm not letting it go away. That's the problem. My forefathers did not die. Did not die. For us to get this far, for us to just let it go. I'm not letting it go. I'm not. I'm tired as hell. I just worked my butt off all day today. I want to relax. But however, this is needed. Wake up before it's too late, before it's to the point you won't even be able to wake up. You be gone, and they be planting lies on you, and your family be doing what we doing. Ask yourself, when is enough going to be enough? And then after you do that, what are you, what are we, what are all of us going to do? Because there is no justice. And I'll say it again. There is no justice. It is just us. And that's how it's always been. It's just us. Dang it. I'm going to say it again. I want it to soak in. The next and the last time I say this, there's no justice. It's just us. Let that sink in. Nobody's coming to save us. You know why? Because they don't give a damn about us. They hate us. They hate us. Before we're born, they hate us. And the saddest part, babies are not born racist. All babies come out beautiful with the love of life, autonomy, wanting to explore the world. Racism is taught. That is a taught hatred. That's a taught hatred. And it's sad and disgusting for you to teach a baby, a vulnerable mind, to hate somebody because of the color of their skin. And I'm going to end on this note. Racism always been real. It ain't gone nowhere. And it ain't going to never go nowhere. And ain't nobody going to save us. I remember having my first friend ever, and I'll never forget her name, Deborah Kelly. First little white girl I met before I met my other friend that I call white girl who's not a white girl. But my whole point, remember calling her. We exchanged numbers. We wrote our name and number down. And I never forget, I got my grandmother to call my best friend, who I believed at the time. Because we sat there and we ate our cookies together in the cafeteria. I'm talking about kindergarten, y'all. Babies, like what I teach. 5 and 6 year olds, 4-year-olds, right? Babies. And I get my grandmother, I get permission. I can't wait. Can I call my friend Debbie? I want to say, okay. My grandmother dial a number and walk away. And I asked, and I'll never forget her racist grandfather. I didn't even know what he meant. But now America showed me what he meant. And I just remember, and it's so painful. I remember the look my grandmother gave me when I told her what this racist piece of trash said to me. But I didn't know because I wasn't brought up in hate. I was brought up with love, integrity, respect. But I remember when I asked for her, I said, can I speak to my friend Debbie? And he said, who is this? He yelled it. It wasn't a warm greeting. It was one that I knew as a little girl that tone wasn't warm like my grandmother's tone, my grandmother's, my grandfather's tone, my uncle's tone. That was a mean, nasty tone, but I still was like, okay. You know, I just still wanted to speak to my white friend, Debbie Kelly. I'm like, can I speak to Debbie? And he's like, who is this? And as soon as I said my name, he knew my race. Or I guess he probably knew because of my voice or whatever the case may be. And he said, he's going to have to call you back. She's busy. He's like, call her back later. She's in the shower and not picking cotton, and hung up on me. And I didn't know what in the world picking cotton was, but I knew it was free in my face. And then I was like, oh, that was a quick one. What happened? And when I told her the hurt, I still remember the hurt in my grandmother's face. And I remember her taking that number from me and then having a conversation at the early age of 5 and talking about how her grandmother, I'm sorry, not her grandmother, but how her mother was made to pick cotton and what slavery. That was the first conversation that I had to learn the hard way. But hate is taught. Racism is taught. And it's sick and it's sad and disgusting. And I'm going to end on that note. And last but not least, nobody's coming to save us. We got to save ourselves. We need to stop hating each other because there's enough hate out here for all of us. They hate us. They hate us for no reason. They hate us. And that's real. That's so mean, but it's so real. And I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to do a mic check, see if anybody else want to say something. We can go to the comments and the questions. Mic check.
Mic check.
I'll add a little something unless someone else wants to speak. Okay. Tawana, you touched on the medical examiner, Fowler, and how the 400 medical examiners around the country, after we saw what Fowler did in his ridiculous testimony at the trial out in Minneapolis, excuse me. So that 400 medical examiners was led by a black medical examiner from Washington, who was determined to do something about the fact that when Fowler was the chief medical examiner for Maryland, there were 1,300 cases, or slightly more or less, but about 1,300 cases of deaths in police custody during the years he was chief medical examiner. And because of that push by those medical examiners, led by the black medical examiner from D.C., the Attorney General in Maryland said, okay, we're going to look into all those cases where Fowler was in charge. And they narrowed it down. Instead of looking at 1,300, they narrowed it down to something like 100. And they finally said in 36 of those cases, or some number like that, the manner of death should have been listed by the medical examiner as homicide. And yet it's a year later since the Attorney General's office said that, and not a single case has been prosecuted, no charges against any of those cops, and no
not even that. Yeah, I'm good. And I'm sorry, I wanted to say something, but
Go ahead.
not even just that, because you just registered something in my soul. But they didn't even change my brother's death certificate. It's still saying that my brother died from dehydration and complications. Like, what?
That's right.
They didn't even do enough of that. Like, what?
Right. They didn't change any of the medical examiner's reports in any of those 36 cases. So the point I wanted to make is that when they, under pressure, when the Attorney General's office seemed like they were going to do something, I would argue they were posturing. They were pretending that they're going to stand up against violent racism. Posturing, but in reality, they were doing the opposite. They were enabling it to continue by refusing to do anything about it. And I think that's important to keep in mind. And finally, on the question of race and racism, I think, this is my opinion, that all working class people, whether you're white, Asian, Latino, Native American, from the Middle East, wherever, we all have to unite against all these horrible things that are going on. It's in the best interests of people who are white to fight racism, because when we have racism, our struggles for justice are held back by the fact that we're not willing to accept black leadership, which is usually the strongest, because people who've been slapped in the face by the system the hardest are often the best fighters against abuse and other forms of oppression. So that's the comment I wanted to make tonight, just to say a little more about the points that you already raised so well, Tawanda. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Awesome. So thank you for sharing those points. And if nobody else want to share, do we have Kalia here to read the questions or comments?
I don't think she's here. If you want me to, there, I think I can see. It's just mostly from Facebook that I can see up. If you want me to read them,
yes, please. Thank you so much.
So, actually, all of our comments tonight are from Angela. We're very glad to have her here. She says, "I agree with you, sis. Our lives don't matter. This country is definitely not for us." She says, "I was totally disgusted when I read the verdict for Carmelo Anthony. 35 years, Rick Chow not guilty. Where's the justice?" And again, our lives don't matter to them. Our lives matter to us. And a mic check. So those are the comments so far for this evening.
Thank you, sir. You have some comments. Yeah, so yeah. But just after on the ground, our next West Wednesday, so I will definitely keep you posted. And also on a good note, because I definitely need a good note, please make sure you show up at the Pill. I'm so excited. That's going to be on June. I cannot wait. We have 2 showings, and I want to see y'all lottie dottie and everybody. So just share. I'm gonna keep sharing. I just can't, guys, and yeah, I'm so excited. So, and it's our loved ones speak about their hearts, their arts, and our hearts. So, I'm just excited. So, I cannot wait. So, I'm excited.
Tawanda,
all right,
can you repeat the start date, because your mic went out just when you were saying it?
Oh, wow. So I was saying it's going to be on June the 20th. June the 20th. I cannot wait to see everybody. I'm so excited. Yeah. So, all right. So the time now looks like it's 8:08. If nobody else has nothing to say, because this is the part that I really don't like. Now I'm going to say it all over again, because at the end of the day, it's just like us saying names, but this is somebody's reality. Because when you get that call, or even once you find out that it was your loved one, when I say the pain hits totally different. Like, even though you're sad and you can humanize with somebody and, show them empathy, but when that pain hits you, when it's your loved one, oh my goodness. So it's sad. So that's why it's very important. And if you can definitely stay on here while we read these names, and it's making you aware, and it's more showing respect to the families and just letting them know that their lives matter. And again, like I said, nobody deserves to be brutally executed. So with that, I'm just going to say the statement, and then we're going to take 1 minute and we're going to go on with the list. So It is the mission of the West Coalition not to just fight for accountability for my big brother Tyrone West, essentially for all the victims of police brutality and murder. Unfortunately, when we get two lists that we share on here, we share the one from community violence as well as police brutality. The community violence list we get from like local news outlets. And our police brutality list, we get that list from a national base. So, but unfortunately, that is all we have is the list. We don't have any details surrounding none of the cases or the people involved in none of the cases or what happened. All we know that there's a person's name, a person that belonged to a family, that belonged to a community, a person that was loved. Because even in the courtrooms nowadays, no matter what, there's always two sides. There's the victim's family and there's the defense family. And at the end of the day, two families are torn apart. And it's sad and it's disgusting. And again, we believe in mediation. As the West Coalition, we believe in mediation, even though we come from different walks of life, backgrounds. I'm a Christian. Some in the West Coalition are not even religious, they're spiritual. Some don't even believe in none of it, whatever they believe in. Some are communists, I'm not, so, but the thing is, what we do agree to, that nobody deserves to be brutally executed and that the system is dirty to the core. We can't believe for nothing else. We know that this system is dirty to the core, and we stand together in solidarity to uplift victims and names and to try to keep it from happening. So a big shout out to the West Coalition that's dedicated. Shout out to Rachel tonight, who could have been with her family. She's on here navigating. Hillary's on here. Like Uncle Bill, is on here. Like we all are here. And I just want to thank all of y'all, the whole West Coast, even the ones that are not on here, the ones that does things. Dan is not on here tonight. He's been working like hell with the pill. Adina's not on here tonight, but she's been working like hell. Like it's just so many. Brian, who comes, and I don't know if he's in Cuba, but like different people, like all of the whole entire West Coalition. Big shout out. I don't want to start naming people because I don't want to accidentally forget somebody's name, but big shout out. I really appreciate you guys. But with that being said, just keep in mind that these are someone's loved one. These are community people. They belong to families. They have people that care about them. They're more than just a name. So we're going to take 1 minute. If you're into saying a prayer, say a prayer. If you're not, that's fine. Send positive vibes. Even if you're not into that, just, figure out what can we do? Like, we need to figure this out. Like, what we're going to do about the situations that are happening, and it's happening too much. So now the time, I believe now, I'm looking at it, it appears to be 8:12. Let's say we come back at 8:14, just to be clear, just in case it's about, I'm glad, 8:14. So it's now 8:13 exactly. Let's come back at 8:14 on the nose. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you. The time now is 8:14. Mic check.
Mic
Mic
check.
check.
Mic check. So I'm going to, I have a short list of people who've died by community violence here in Baltimore. So we want to lift up their names in memory of them, in solidarity with their loved ones in their community. and as in a way of dedicating ourselves to the struggle against violence, and particularly police violence, in all our lives. So if you would just echo the names back to me. Curtis Knox.
Curtis
Knox.
Renee Sanders.
May Sanders.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
You brother Brian.
So we have the National Police Violence Police list, and there are 27 names on it this evening. There's one female and the rest male. The oldest person on the list is 74, and the youngest person on the list is 18, I believe. I'm going to start, and then Bill is going to complete the list. And again, as Brian always says so eloquently, we need to all remember that this is a list of people who have families and communities who are mourning them, who meant something to someone. And whenever someone is killed, it reverberates through their community. So let's send love and light to all of them. So if you would please repeat their names as I do them, that would be great. So this is, again, from the period of June 1st through the 8th, and there are 27 names, which is about 3.37 names per day in this country. Okay, so starting on June 1st in Lake Jackson, Texas, 19-year-old man, John Mendoza Jr.
John Mendoza
John
Jr.
Mendoza Jr.
Junior.
Yeah.
On the 2nd in Fort Mill, South Carolina, 74-year-old man, and hopefully I'm saying this right, Yves Vene.
Yves Vene.
Vene.
On the 2nd in Atlantic City, New Jersey, 52-year-old man, Donald Capriati.
Donald
Capriati.
On the 2nd in Omaha, Nebraska, a male whose age is unknown and whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Thank you. On the 2nd in Columbus, Ohio, a 33-year-old man, Isawan Foster.
Isawan
Foster.
Isawan Foster.
On the 3rd in Las Vegas, Nevada, 43-year-old man, Sergio Flores.
Sergio Flores.
On the 3rd in Deltona, Florida, a 59-year-old woman, Rosalia Hodges.
Rosalia Hodges.
On the 3rd in Bakersfield, California, 41-year-old man, Anthony Searles Harris.
Anthony
Searles Harris.
Thank you. On the 3rd in Pittsburgh, Kansas, 29-year-old man, Jalen Green.
Jalen Green.
On the 4th in Columbia, South Carolina, 18-year-old man, Kwamari Adiver.
Adiver.
On the 4th in Eureka, Montana, Eureka, Missouri, 35-year-old man, Joshua Smith.
Joshua Smith.
Mm-hmm. On the 4th in Ogden, Utah, 64-year-old man whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
On the 4th in Westchester, Ohio, 39-year-old man, Lorenzo Miller.
Lorenzo Miller.
On the 5th in Marietta, Georgia, 43-year-old man, Gregory Hill Jr.
Gregory Hill Jr.
Gregory Hill Jr.
Okay. And now I'm going to pass the list over to Bill to complete it.
Thank you. For anyone just tuning in, these are people killed by police around the United States in just the first week of June. In Pelzer, South Carolina, on June 5th, 70-year-old man, David Milton.
David
Milton.
David Milton.
In Los Angeles, California, also on the 5th, a man who was 46, Thomas Hearn.
Thomas Hearn.
In Klamath Falls, Oregon, yet again on the 5th, a man whose age has not been released and whose name has been withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe. In Fresno, California, yet again on the 5th, a 42-year-old man, once again, whose name was withheld by the pigs.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe.
Ashe. In Macon, Georgia, on the 6th, a man who was 35 years old, Joshua Epps.
Joshua Epps.
Joshua Epps.
In Carpentersville, Illinois, once again on the 6th, the man who was 44 years old, Jerry Casimiro.
Jerry Casimiro.
Jerry Casimiro.
In Oregon, Ohio, I hadn't heard of that town before. Oregon, Ohio, on June the 6th, the man who was 35, Christian Strasberg.
Christian
Strasberg.
In Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, on the 7th of June, a man who was 58, Jeffrey De Jesus.
Jeffrey
De Jesus.
In Anchorage, Alaska, on the 7th, a man who was 23, Neil Jaffet.
Neil Jaffet.
In Hutchinson, Kansas, on the 7th, a man who was 30, Jonathan Lawrence.
Jonathan Lawrence.
In Rapid City, South Dakota, yet again on the 7th, a 58-year-old man, John Lee.
John
Lee.
In Baggs, Wyoming, on the 8th of June, a man whose age has not been given and whose name has been withheld by the KK cops.
Cell block for killer cops.
Ashe.
Ashe. And the final victim of police murder that we're upholding this evening lived in Glendale, California, was killed by police on June 8th. And it was a man, once again, his age has not been revealed and the name has been withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe.
Ashe. And that concludes the ongoing travesty of police murder. Back to you, Tawanda.
Thank you, and thank you for our bad news, Uncle Bill and Brother Brian and Hillary. Thank y'all so much. Definitely appreciate y'all. I know it's like it's knowledge, and it lets you know that they don't discriminate for us the age. Like we had up to 70-year-old and a 74. That's sick. Like imagine you live your life to be executed by somebody that's supposed to serve and protect, and they're serving us. They're serving us death while they're protected. So I want y'all to let that stick in. Remember, live to love, love to live, and we Wednesday, so I can't wait, and I hope that we'll be seeing because time is just flying. But I can't wait to see you guys at the pier that week. Like it's like literally we almost there. Like after this and next weekend, the following weekend we'll be boots on the ground. So next week we will have a special guest. But the following week after the pier, we will be boots on the ground. Thank you, Rachel, Hillary, Bill, Brian, Kalia, even though she's probably somewhere in Q or whatever the case may be. But just thank the whole entire West Coalition. Remember, live to love, love to live. And it's so sad that we have to bring you part two of that awful video, but it's important. If you can, please stay tuned to the end. We thank you in advance. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
And Mr. West begging for his life, and Mr. Salam begging for his child to be excluded and comforted from what was taking place. Not for himself, but for his 3-year-old child.
Case number 4, Adina Britt and family, September 10th, 2015.
My name is Adina Britt, and I wanted to submit a 30-second testimonial that Jorge Omar Bernardez Ruiz is one of the 11 terrorists that came into my house performing a home invasion in September 2015, terrorizing my entire family and even holding my 12-year-old son at gunpoint. He needs to be stopped.
Case number 5, unidentified arrestee, assaulted in 2016.
I suggest you back the fuck up.
No, why you
Again, this video did not surface until the summer of 2020. Case 6, Thomas McCullough, May 2016 and February 2017.
I heard my front door coming off the hinges like it exploded.
Thomas McCullough says it happened twice. In May 2016 and February 2017, Baltimore City Police burst through his green front door and raided his Pimlico home.
They said, police. They come up, shotguns, guns.
He says officers ransacked the place, looking for drugs, money, and weapons. He took pictures of the damage he says they left behind.
Tell us where the drugs are, the scales, the guns, and the large amounts of money.
Nothing was found. Now he's suing police, claiming officers, including a former member of the Gun Trace Task Force, frightened him, his wife, and father-in-law when the officers conducted what his suit calls an illegal search of his home. The owner of the house tells 11 News after the second raid, he had to replace the front door. McCullough and his attorney say they want Baltimore police held accountable.
There is a colossal breach of trust.
And McCullough tells us following both raids, no one was arrested or charged.
This all begs the question, when will Baltimore City State's attorney see the prosecution of Bernardez Ruiz as warranted?
They were the stopping officers in these so-called jump-out cars, unmarked and so forth, that stopped both the West vehicle and the Salam vehicle without probable cause. And these officers are the ones that also were joined by others, but they are the ones who initiated the stops, pulled both men out of the vehicles, and commenced the vicious activity that was thrust upon them.
And the officer Ruiz that started this attack is still working and working with promotions. He is now sergeant. But the fact that this repeat violent offender had a history leading up to my brother. There was Darrell Harris, there was James Green, Joseph Green, Abdul Salam. No one family deserves to be brutally murdered or brutalized by this repeat violent offender Ruiz. It is time we take action. The time is now.
Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender. Based on these accounts, in accordance with the law, we, the West Coalition, call for him to be fired, prosecuted, and incarcerated.
We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter.
For the safety of our city, the prevention of further harm, and the justice for these families, we see no other option.
And again, I'll say, the time is now.